So there were a good number of discussions that happened in the first half. I will take it forward. I'll be very quick with my presentation, which will be not more than 10 minutes. But then what I want from you after the session that I have, like 10 minutes, is to participate. And everybody must have a notebook and a pen. So I will be asking you to do something, not do something as in to write something, some few words, something. We will have volunteers who will collect it from you, and we'll try to experience that whole idea of what is AI here itself within the audience and have a broader platform for discussion. So that's the main idea of this one, so that we all participate together. We all critically examine that whatever the world has given us right now, is it good for us? Is it good for our students? Is it good for the world, or just it's just a hoax? Okay. So so I have this is my title, but before that, where ma'am left, I want to continue on that. That when we talk about this education 4.0 taxonomy, which was declared by the World Economic Forum, so there is this whole idea about abilities and skills going up the ladder. Okay, so now, because for in my view, if we are talking about digital thinking, if there is an app, if there is a platform, if there is a very easy platform which really can portray creativity at the easiest level, breaking it to the easiest level to your students, then probably that is where we win the game. Okay, so there are a lot of platforms. I'll talk about that. But what has happened by August 22 till the date we are talking here, there have been certain platforms that have come up where text is changed to image, where text can also be changed to text, which is the chat GPT. That means you instruct something and it gives you an output in terms of text. There is some DALI 2 and MidJourney, stable diffusion, we'll talk about it later. But these are something which also takes text and generate you an image. Okay. And there are also certain things which is like Google Collab, where you bring up a text and it gives you an animated movie. So that's what it is. And work is also going on where the text can also be changed into 3D. So it's in a very primitive form, but yes, it's there. So now why I am sharing this whole thing is because this has been done by the Economic Forum itself, that if you try to combine some of the jots, then you come up with some kind of an idea. For example, here I am sorry if it is not clear, but if you combine creativity, digital skills, problem solving, collaboration, grit, and global citizenship, what the output or the competency is that you are designing a gaming app. Okay, so creativity goes at the top. So that's more or less about how we are placed as teachers, as creative educators. How are we placed? Now, coming to all the three difficult questions, what is AI? So I'm not a computer engineer. I'll not give you the technical definition of an AI, but please don't think AI as a humanoid robot. Okay, think of it as an algorithm, think of it as a code, think of it as something which is a software which is there to help solve your problem. And it's there in our phones. We are using it in some form, some scale or other. We are still using it. Okay, so that's basically what AI is. It's something where it you give them an input and it tries to solve it intelligently, whether it is Google Maps, where you are going on a particular route and it gives you an instruction that this route has a congestion, would you like to take another route? Okay, now how has AI developed? That is a very different topic. I think that goes into the computer science department. I cannot tell you about that also, but I will advise you that please see these three movies. The first one is my favorite. It's the Imitation Games. It's on Netflix. So this is about a man who cracked the Nazi code. So Alan Turing. So he's also considered as the father of computer science. But it's an amazing movie. You should all watch it with your kids who are interested in mathematics. So amazing movie on that. Then the second movie is Game Over, which is about Gary Kasparov. I think he was the hero of our generation when chess was very predominant. So Gary Kasparov and the Microsoft machine which actually defeated him. So that is the point of time when AI has started actually getting into our lives, into the sport, but not into the education system as of. So game over. Then there is another movie which is called as AlphaGo, which is also in the Netflix. So that probably these three movies will tell you how the AI has entered into our lives unknowingly and has defeated some of the greatest considered minds in the world. Okay, so that's one. How have the tools evolved for us, particularly for us, is OpenAI AI released all the versions of ChatGPT in November 2022, and here in May 2023 we are talking about it. So that is the how it has become famous. MidJourney is also a image to text to image creation that has happened. Stability AI or stability diffusion AI is one thing. It has also got into our browser. So Bing also has collaborated with ChatGPT. And in the last 6 months, a lot of things has happened, and there are things to happen also. For example, the black and white picture of that bird is Adobe Firefly, which Adobe is also releasing as its own, image, text to image AI creator. Microsoft 365 Copilot, where earlier you used to make PPTs. Now you instruct the bot to make a PPT for you, okay, and it starts making the PPT for you. And yesterday there was a alert on my phone where Elon Musk talks about releasing Truth GPT. I don't know what is it, but yeah. So he's telling that all the AI applications are have their own biases, and I will release something which is called as Truth GPT, where you cannot buy it with dollars, euros, and rupees, but you have to do something which is called Binance or all kinds of cryptocurrency in order to buy it. So going to the next level. So that's where we stand for now. And at what speed we are talking about? Okay, so for example, Chat GPT starts giving its results in 3 seconds. So if my students here, if I give them an essay, they will give it to me in 3 seconds. Okay, and I will also evaluate it in 3 seconds. I'll put that whole essay into Chat GPT and say evaluate it. Give me 5 points, 5 good points, 5 bad points. 3 seconds, 6 seconds में a period of English is over. Okay, so that's what the speed at which we are talking about, that the Chat GPT has revolutionized, and that is the guy, fastest guy. I don't remember his name. Can somebody help me? Usain Bolt. So he runs the 100 meter in 9 seconds. So we have 3 seconds left to imagine that what we are talking about. Okay. So this is exciting as well as terrifying. Exciting because yeah, there is a speed, there is information available, there is something happening, but terrifying because we don't know how to handle it. If we don't know how to handle it, how can we tell our students that how they can handle it? Okay. So so what we thought is, let's do an exercise where we will imagine and I'll slowly introduce that how can we use this. Okay, so let's imagine via this icon. How many of you know what this icon is? Anybody knows this icon? No. Okay, gaming bot. Oh, okay. So it's a gamers के लिए, it's a WhatsApp. It's the Discord. So we call it as the Discord. So this is the Discord platform, which is like WhatsApp, where you can start making your community, where you can start making this thing. So it is like 4 of my students on a community putting posts, and there are also community which is called as the MidJourney community. Okay. Now, what is MidJourney we'll talk about, but I'm just giving you that this is the interface of the AI platform MidJourney which we are talking about. So if you want to create images, if you want to create your ideas on MidJourney, so you have to log in, and you have to log in, and this login will take you to something which is called as Discord. This Discord is also there on the phone, so you can also download it, and while going from here to your place, you can start putting some commands, it will start generating images. Okay, and it's a very light thing, so it doesn't really hang your phone. So this is MidJourney, and why I'm showing you this is it's a community-based platform. That means you can see others' work also. Okay, that means people start putting whatever things they have in mind. A man in suit with realistic rhino mask on head, big teeth, smiling face, thumbs up, this, that. So they start putting all these things, and it gives you 4 images. Okay, so it gives you 4 images, and you can start learning, like, okay, what are these people really doing? Are they doing something sensible, or they are not? So this is what the community thing looks like, or the community post of MidJourney looks like. If you want to create a private one, you can also create a private one. So like this is my private server, where I am only talking or chatting with MidJourney. So I'll come to this. So this is what is the Discord all about. Okay. Now this is a chatbot. This is a chatbot where you can chat with MidJourney personally. You can chat with other users. It's a gamer's paradise or a gamer's WhatsApp thing that started with, but now it has been taken over by a lot of communities, where the online education, and it became famous during the COVID time. So now that's my presentation. 10 minutes, we are done with the presentation. So what I would ask you, because we have been talking about a lot of things in the first half with Ritesh sir. So what I will ask you people to do is to imagine with words, okay? Imagine an abstract situation or moment which has fluidity in it, okay? And there has to be 2 essential attributes. Matlab, you have to write it in words. There has to be 2 essential attributes, which is material and color. For example, I'll show you one so that we are clear on this one. So this is, for example, one idea where I just said that a blue ink in water. Okay, imagine a blue ink in water. How does it look like? And probably this is the most simplistic image that I'm going to get. Okay, so what is the first task is we're going simpler things so that we don't really end up with complicated things. So what we are saying is, let's imagine, so I think we can write, and there are certain volunteers. They will take it from you, and they will put it on the chatbot, and we can see how many images that can we create, and what time, and what is the level of accuracy that you are looking at. Okay. So can we really do that exercise, that we can write in 10 or 15 words the situation which is about fluidity, where there are 2 essential attributes. One is material and one is color. So for me, if I was making with, I was just trying that. So for me, it was a blue ink when mixed with water and movement. So that was what I wrote, and it gave me certain pictures or certain options or certain images. So can we do that, and can we have at least 2 or 3 so that we can experiment it here, and you can critically examine as we go in the complexity level. Okay. Now what happens here is, if you really look at this chatbot, so what it does is, before I'm just talking about the operations also. So what it does is, it gives you something which is called as U1, U2, U3, U4. So what is U1, U2, U3, U4? So they are nothing but they are the upscaling. Like for example, you choose one image which you like the best out of the 4. Okay, so you can upscale it. That means that that image becomes the bigger image. I'll show you that. So for example, for me, these were the 4 images that were generated when I said that, okay, a drop of blue ink in water, and this is what they generated 4 image. And then I like this image, and I clicked something which is called as U4. That means upscale the 4th image. Okay. Now when I upscale the 4th image, so this is what it gave. Okay. So I can save it in my desktop. I can save it. I can send it to my friends. I can upload it in Instagram. I can do something like that on here. So this is what is happening to the thing. So like ma'am had a prompt which is a colorful palette melting like ice. So these are the 4 options that MidJourney gives you. Okay. So these are the 4 options, and you can also click on 1, you can click on 2, and also there is an option where you can have a variation of 1 out of these 4. So for example, if you want a variation of, if let's say, okay, so ma'am, which one do you like out of these four? Last one, this one? Okay. So if you like this one and if you want to really improvise on this, then you can also go to something which is called as V4, that means variation. Okay. So there is an upscale, that means you have this as a final image, which is an upscale. And the second one is called as the variation. So you pick up one image and you try another variation out of it. So that is how simpler that it has got, that you have a lot of processing happening behind, but what you are seeing is a very simple interface. So while I'm doing this, also I can just type my, so this is how the MidJourney, when you look at MidJourney, when you click on MidJourney on the browser, so this is what it looks like. You can join the beta for the first timers, and because I have signed in, so this is how I sign in. And these are the images that I have been creating. Okay, so it is like upscales, grid. So whatever images that I have been creating, it's all there in the archive. It's all there in the archive, so you don't lose them. Once you create an account, you don't lose all your images. They are there in this thing. So all those images are there. You can just right click. For example, this is the image that is an upscale. Okay, so you can just like save image as, that is, you get it in a JPG form. For example, if this is the image that I have got, so you right click on it and you save that image, and then this image goes as a PNG form. You can also convert it into a JPG form. This is the creator is you, and the copyright is by MidJourney, until unless you have a free trial version or a licensable version. So this is what I have read about on the MidJourney things, that they say that until unless you have a proper license, it's you who is the author of this image. So that's the whole idea of it. So this is your MidJourney profile. So you have the profile here, and you have whatever images that you have created. So they are all here. Okay. Now, so this is what there are two things that have been created. So one here, two here. This is also another variation. Now, let's go and do something else. Let's say I will just upscale one of them here, and I will just upscale one of them here. So let them happen. So let's go to the task number 2. Now task number 2 says, imagine with words a life-size installation, a lifestyle size installation which you dream to create, and there should be essential attributes in terms of words, which is one, context, like kahan pe, where, or for what, material, transparency or opacity, like it should be transparent, translucent, whatever it is, what style or artist or color. So they say that the more the prompt goes long, the more accurate your images output become. Okay, so can somebody give me a idea of a life size installation in words which you dream to create, where the essential attributes in terms of words should be mentioned: the context, the material, the transparency, the style, the artist, and or the color. So this was like a Refik Anadol style digital installation at India Gate, Delhi, which should respect the soldiers. So this was just a very random thing that I did. Refik Anadol being the most talked about digital artist nowadays. So how he does all those artworks. So this was the whole idea. Now it did not give me, now I am not satisfied with the image because one, it did not give me the India Gate properly. Secondly, yeah, the digital installation was okay, but probably the color, the setting, the context, they were all missing in my this thing. I just said India Gate, I just said soldiers, I just said Refik Anadol, and the best thing that it could pick up was Refik Anadol because he is famous on the internet. Yeah, so this is where we really have to work on, because if you say Refik Anadol, if you talk about the artists and the architects and the designers who are mostly Western or the European origin, you will get really precise results. You will get really precise results. But when we talk about the Indian thing, there might be where you will be 50-60% satisfied. Now that is because the search engine optimization on the World Wide Web works in the way. So we have a little bit less documentation as compared to the Western origin people. So that's why Refik Anadol was dominant in this picture rather than the India Gate and rather than the Rashtrapati Bhavan at the background. So this did not happen. So yeah, so can somebody really tell me one thing? It could improvise as you go along. So this is like the upscale version of the water droplet. This was the upscale version of the thing here. Now, can these two images be, okay, before going to that, can these two images be mixed together and you can imagine a third thing? For example, I will take this as a thing and so I'm just creating, when I'm clicking on this and creating on open in browser, so what I'm doing is I'm opening the link. I'm just opening the link. Now for example, I take this, Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Now for example, if I take these two and I once again type / imagine, that's how it recognizes my prompt, and I cut paste this one. So this is the image I took and I just said that an Apple iPhone. So probably it will take the color, probably it can take some attributes. I'm just making my commands very, very precise. I'm not giving them a really long command. So it might not be very, very, precise thing that will come as an output. Yeah, so while this happens, anybody talking about the task number 2, which was about a life-size installation which you dream to create, where the essential attributes are context, material, transparency. Has anybody finalized it? Yeah, 2 people. So we have 2 outputs. So this is the first output. May be correct, may not be correct to a certain extent. And this is the second output, which is about the courtyard thing. So this is how it starts giving you outputs on. Okay. And probably the third one will be more or less reddish yellow flame inside a glass chamber. Yeah. And this becomes the third output. Yeah. So these are outputs based on you people not knowing about AI, but having the background which is a creative background. Okay. So you people are the best to handle it. Okay. No computer science engineer can handle it. They can prepare an app. You are the people who are going to handle it. You people know the terminology. You people know the words. And you people can articulate it much more better. And you can make it learn. Okay? Just like your students. So the whole point why I'm trying to give you this is what AI really gives you in terms of its output. It really gives you those kind of images. This MidJourney is a lot artistic. To be very frank, because I have been using 2-3 applications. So MidJourney is very artistic. You have to control it. So suppose I say that I want a straight building, I have to very, very, very be specific that I want a straight building without any curves. Otherwise, it will make curves. So that's the intrinsic quality of MidJourney. So can we mix, so I'll come to this one. So can we mix task 1 image with task 2 image to create something else? Okay. So for example, I'm just taking one, which is, I'll just take one from my thing. So there's a lot of browsers that has been created, but okay. So I'll take one from mine, which is this. So what this will do is it will take 2 attributes that has been created and try to make something. And the original one, which ma'am said, so I'll also put it into the attribute. So we might get something different. We can evaluate on that one. And this is happening within seconds. Okay, so we are getting certain outputs within seconds. Okay, this is done, this is done. So this was done a little bit faster. So this was the kind of attribute which was for the original prompt that you gave. And so this took into action the droplets. That means it took into action this thing as an attribute, this thing as an attribute, and the command, and gave you an abstract image. Whereas this one gave you a realistic image because there was no prompt that was deviating from the realistic thing. So it depends on how you give the command to the machine, how you give command to the AI bot, so that it processes that image in the similar way. So this is how you can start creating, this is how you can start learning also, because this one is my channel. I have created my channel where I am talking to MidJourney and creating my images so that it doesn't get lost. But if you go to the MidJourney community, there's a lot happening here. So people posting their pictures and saying something, people talking about like bridge view, people talking about like cartoon fantasy with dental clinic, people making logos and submitting Chennai Metro logo and then submitting it. So everything is happening here. You can see it's a world of images that is happening. But the underlying thing is that people are doing something which is all about prompt. They can change the aspect ratio, they can change the speed, they can change the kind of output. If you look here, they are writing something which is called as cinematic lighting, extreme wide shot, ultra detailed, ultra realistic, hyper detailed, and aspect ratio 16:9 and V5. V5 is MidJourney 5. So they are doing things here and they are trying to get certain things. You can also pick up, for example, I want to work on this image, which is by somebody whom I don't know. I can still work on this image. So it's the community thing. So it's a kind of a community learning. So you can go to General 1, General 2, General 3. There are a lot of communities here. And nobody stops you from going into any community. And you can go into communities and you can start doing all your pictures here. So this is how, for example, this, an exploding computer with binary data ejecting outward and leaking out like oil data leak, dynamic photorealism, etc., etc. So you can see what it looks like. So it's how the prompt is given, it's how the images have been produced and then upscaled or variated. Disadvantage, okay. You need to, first thing is we need to know that if somebody gives you an image or an output or whatever you have said as an assignment, if somebody gives you an image, you need to identify, you need to explore this in order to identify whether it has been copied from or generated through MidJourney or not. That's the first thing that comes into my mind when we are dealing with students. Okay, so whether a particular idea, because it's good in ideation, it's very, very good in ideation. Okay, so I also encourage, everybody should encourage that it should be how you can really ideate. It gives you options in many different ways when you start picking up those concepts and putting it into the machine to give whatever output it has. But yeah, that's the one disadvantage that I feel. Secondly, in terms of vulgarism and all kinds of offense, it doesn't produce any image. It doesn't produce any image as such. So that's if you write anything which is vulgar, it will not take that command. So that's one thing that it does. It doesn't take that command. You write 10 more times, it throws you out of the bot. So that's one. And the third thing is, it doesn't give you realistic image of people. So when you start typing people, like a character or something like that, it will distort the image. It will not give you a realistic image. So for example, Photoshop. So Photoshop can be, you can do a photo morph, which is realistic. Here it will distort something, either the neck or the eye or the nose. So it will start distorting because of certain policies that it follows. So these are certain things where, okay, there are the checkpoints. But yeah, another thing is it is very addictive. You start doing it, you spend your nights and your credits. That means the free credits. You spend all your credits here. Yeah. Another thing is, okay. Now, in terms of output, while Ritesh sir was giving his talk, So I was trying these two, the same output, same prompt or the same command on my mobile. This one is DALI 2, which is by OpenAI. So this is also another text to image AI platform, which is called as DALI 2. You can also use this. And this one is the MidJourney. Now, if you compare both of them, the commands are the same, which is Eiffel Tower as the most hated building when it was built, enraged people created, dismayed, and all that thing. But look at the kind of output that both of them are giving. DALI 2 gives you a more, what do you call it, realistic image, whereas MidJourney always gives you a very artistic and dramatic image. So it depends on you that how you choose the kind of application that you are using and for what output, okay? So that's, and if I, so this is what DALI 2 looks like. So this is also something which is by OpenAI. And it works in a little bit realistic way as compared to your MidJourney. So for example, if you take any command of MidJourney, I'll just Control C and put it here. So it might not give you an artistic image. Or it might not give you something which is very curvy, which is very, dramatic. It will give you a much more simpler image, okay? So this is what it gives. But then it has also got its own advantages. It has got all kinds of things here. So if you want some control in your image, then DALI 2 is the one which you should use, okay? But if you, and it also has uploading of image and then converting it into something else. But if you want to have something which is really, really artistic, really, really dramatic, then this is how you go about with MidJourney, okay? And last, but not the least, is MidJourney also has, or every AI thing also has its biases. For example, I gave a prompt which is like puff jacket made of African zebra prints worn by a male model. By default, it took a black African person into account while generating the image. But when I changed the prompt to a puff jacket made of cow prints worn by a male model, where I did not define the color, okay, but it suddenly gave me a European model. So where does this bias come from? So that's what the guy was talking about, Elon Musk was talking about, that AI has got its biases. We are, because I'm talking this because we are all academically inclined. So everything, even if it is a image generation through prompts, they have got their own biases, okay? Then not Agent GPT or Chat GPT. So this is the one which you should also try out. So there was one post yesterday by somebody where he said that I wrote something about my income, my age, my wife, my children, and plan my retirement corpus. So it started giving me, then he wrote that what are the best mutual fund, it started giving me those things. Where should I keep my money, it started giving me those advices. So all those things are happening here. ChatGPT, MidJourney, AI, DALI 2, and Stability Diffusion, and Adobe coming up, everybody coming up with their own things. So I think as educators, as creative educators, to be very precise, we should explore, one, and we should let our students also explore. That's more important, that we should let our students explore so that we know that what are the disadvantages, what are the advantages, and how far can we stretch this. Okay, thank you very much. I hope this was a productive session for you people. Thank you.